Hi, welcome to my channel. This is my gastric bypass journey. So I started last week at 374 pounds. I started my pre-op diet at 374 and I weighed in this morning at 363.8 pounds. So I lost 10.2 pounds in 1 week, which is insane. I was feeling limited in my wardrobe. The thoughts were bogging me down about how I had let myself get so big again, and I had already gotten rid of my big clothes for the most part, that I was running myself out of wardrobe for work. It was just really getting to me. So I was really excited that I had pants available to me in my wardrobe again. But most of all, I'm really excited. I'm excited about this new life. I'm excited about what things are gonna look like in the future. And I'm excited to keep going with this and see what's it gonna look like? How am I gonna feel? You tell somebody they can't have something and that's all they think about all week. As much as I really don't want to film this, I think it's important to just say that I'm really sad. And I know a lot of it is that there's a lot going on, but I know that a lot of it also stems from the fact that this process is hard. And in a lot of situations, you feel really alone. And I think to be realistic and honest about what this process is like, I have to assure you that I'm not always having a good time. I do not have the brain power or the mental capacity to worry about my weight loss anymore. I just don't. I hit a point this week, I just don't have the energy anymore. I've been doing this, consistently for 6 weeks now, but I've also been doing this my whole life. I just don't have it in me to worry anymore. I've made the decision that I'm gonna go through with gastric bypass, that this is the decision that I want, that is right for me. I'm gonna do it, and at that point, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm going to follow, appropriate nutritional guidelines. I'm not taking this lightly. I am changing my eating habits for the rest of my life, and that's the best I can do. I'm just gonna let the surgery help me with that task. That is what I've been wanting this whole time. It's just a tool to help me get through this. So I just don't have the energy to worry about it anymore, and I won't. So it is not quite 5 a.m. on surgery morning. I am first thing this morning at 7 a.m. So I have to be down in the lobby in about an hour. Don't really have a lot of time to wait, and I don't have a lot of time to get nervous, so that's probably a plus. It's happening.
This is the most coherent I've been so far. I'm a little uncomfortable in my upper abdomen. I assume that's the drain, and I can't take a very deep breath. But aside from that, I'm just really sleepy. I'm just really tired. But so far, I'm doing okay. I woke up with a lot more discomfort this morning. It's hard to breathe a little bit. I do have this breathing thing that they gave me. They brought me lunch. I got a little cup of broth, and then I also got a little cup of Jell-O. It's like the first quote-unquote solid food that I'm gonna have. It's not really solid. So I was told that I'm getting discharged at 7 a.m. I'm pretty excited. Just got my IV out, I'm free. I've made it home. I'm in my own bed with my own blankies, propped up on a bunch of pillows, and I'm gonna see how I can sleep comfortably now that I'm not in a hospital bed. But I'm feeling really good, and I'm just ready I'll be so ready when I'm able to like lay on my side. I can't wait for that to happen, but I don't think tonight's the night. Rewiring your brain and relearning how to eat and going from liquids to not even solid foods, just soft solid foods, is not an easy process, and it can feel really overwhelming and really restrictive. I have a major problem with portion sizes and with sweets, and this surgery is obviously helping me with portion sizes. I have no way around it. I just can't eat that much. But the surgery itself, aside from possible dumping syndrome, if I eat too many sweets, doesn't in itself fix my issue with sweets. So working on this, exposing myself to these things and being okay with just having a taste and letting it go has been really, really helpful. I really do feel like I'm starting to form this relationship with food that makes sense and probably should have been the way that I was eating the whole time, but it is so hard to fix those habits and to change that relationship and that mindset when it comes to food based off of the way that I had been eating my entire life. I actually lost weight over Christmas? What? It shouldn't be that big of a deal, but you know, if you really think about all of these traditions and things that we have in our lives and throughout the year, they almost all revolve around food. Food is a big part of that in every culture. So it's not realistic to expect that food's just not going to be important in my life anymore. The difference is how I think about food and how much I'm actually eating. I had this realization that I'm not missing eating like I was. When I first started eating food again, I felt this mourning and this sadness over the fact that I couldn't eat the portions that I used to. And when something tasted good and made my stomach feel good and satisfied, I would have to stop eating before I was satisfied with the amount of food that I ate. And that's a really big mental hurdle to get over, because being satisfied after eating is all in your head. Being full and satiated is the physical reflection of that. No matter how much self-talk and how much I really sit down and think about it and rationalize it, I'm just not able to feel accomplished. And until I hit that point where I am now losing new weight, I don't know how accomplished I'm going to really feel. I still just feel like I'm trying to get back to where I was so I can continue my journey from there. It hasn't been all guns and roses, you guys. There are still difficult parts to all of this. I still struggle with things. I'm still learning. This is not a quick fix. This is not something that isn't frustrating. I mean, I still have a lot of stuff that I'm trying to figure out and work out. I don't feel like myself, like physically. When I look in the mirror, I do see the weight loss. I don't see 100 pounds. And that's still really hard for your mind to grasp. But I do see weight loss for sure. But I see someone I don't recognize. And I'm in this in-between stage where I don't look like myself anymore. My face doesn't look like my face. And there's this loss that's coming with that. Like, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like I look like myself. But I'm also not at the point where I feel like I can say, but damn, I look good. Like, I feel like I'm in this in-between where I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what I see in the mirror. And that's a little new for me. I don't know, how do I say this? I don't want a goal weight. I don't want a number on the scale that I am striving for and it's going to drive me nuts if I don't get to it, or if I'm 10 pounds away from it and I'm struggling to get there. That is not what I want to do. The non-scale victories, or the things that I can accomplish, the things that I can do now, make this process worth it. Like, 150 million times over compared to just looking at the numbers. The number on the scale is a data point, and it does help me know if I'm keeping on track, and it does help me, get some information, but it's not the only information that matters. I started at a size 26, so I've lost about 10 sizes, which I can't even fathom. I don't even know when I last wore a size like this. It's insane to me, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. When I'm going to the store, I'm gravitating towards things that are bigger than what I am, because it's still so very hard to see myself. It's so hard to see the changes on that extent. So it's very interesting to get a number for the first time, because I've gone 7 months without actually trying to buy new clothes. We put so much emphasis on what we eat and how much weight we're losing and how fast we're doing it, and we're not looking at the big picture. And I have to take a step back, and I have to realize I'm building something great. I'm building a life that I want to live. I'm building the life that I should have been living before. I finally have energy. I finally have motivation and desires to go do things, and I'm doing it. I am so much more active, and I'm so much more consistent at getting up early, going for a walk. 2-mile walks are nothing for me now. It just feels right, and it's been opening this door into more activity, because the more I do and the more I get used to it, the more I want to do, and it's just building on itself. I hiked up a mountain this month, up the face of a mountain. It was so beautiful. It was so difficult. It was a lot of work, but I would not have done that a year ago. I wouldn't have. I was not interested in hiking at all a year ago. Last weekend was one of the most stressful, worst weekends that I've had in a long time. Ultimately, last weekend was really, really terrible. I found myself responding to that way different than I used to. I needed to clear my head, and I needed to do something. And so I went out in the morning with the dog, and I took a 4-mile walk, and I just walked. I put in a podcast, and the two of us just took off. I felt so much better, and it just allowed me to calm down a little bit. And that is not the way I would have reacted to stress in the past. Absolutely not. And that made me feel really good. At the end of all of that, I felt like I am finally starting to get some coping mechanisms that are helpful and that are not relying on food or eating or, the endorphin rush revolving around those things that I used to do. Food is no longer an important staple in my life, and I've been teetering on the edge of this feeling for a while, but now I officially think that I finally got there mentally, and a switch flipped in my head, so to speak. Food is just not that important anymore. I would worry so much about what I was going to eat and what flavor I wanted and what type of food we were going to get, and being able to have all of the things that my taste buds wanted and eat as much of it as I physically could. And now it is so much further from that. I got on a plane for the first time since surgery. I know that I've lost a lot of weight and that flying would be different, but it was a world I've literally never experienced in my adult life. I got on the plane, I had tons and tons of room. I was able to literally cross my legs while I was waiting on the tarmac. I was able to cinch my seatbelt. There were things that I've never experienced as an adult that made flying so much easier, and it was so noticeable, so noticeable. The total loss just keeps getting bigger and bigger and is exceeding anything I really thought I would be at this point. So every time I weigh in, I'm just like, wow. Once I pass 150 pounds, I was just like, I feel like I'm blown away every time I get on the scale. This is a lot of change to go through in a very short amount of time. And you gotta be on your toes, man. You gotta start catching things when they start happening and realizing and changing. I have to be able to change
with myself. My body and everything can't change and my mind stays in the past. I can't do that. And it can be really uncomfortable for some people. And I'm trying to learn to embrace it and move forward. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.